So what we're going to do in this project, let's go full screen, hit spacebar, is we're going to bounce this ball and have this ball react off of this ball. We don't need 120 frames, we just need 31. Oops, let's do it to the outer one too. See, it gives you that nice compression at the time. And 30 frames a second. Alright. So when animating something that's reacting off an object is you want to do the main object first and then do the secondary object after that. So we're almost going to ignore this till we're done with this ball, because this ball really won't be affected too much by this ball. It doesn't have the mass to really push it around. So I'm going to drop a key in frame 1. Oops, I did 39 instead of 31. Drop a key. I had to right click in my viewport to drop a key because I hit S there, as you can see. And let's pull this up. Let's go to 7. Go up and down. Let's go into the graph editor. This is my graph editor. Again, you would find it under Windows, Animation, Graph Editor. Hold down Shift Control to put it on your shelf. I don't know why I'm losing the icon. Y translation up and down. Lift that up. And lift that one up. Now when we hit play, it's bouncing better. Now let's add some squash and stretch. Let's squish it. 0.4, and then we gotta add 1.3. 1.3. You won't see that's actually coming towards the camera. And as you can see, it is scaling down the other one. Not a big deal, we'll fix that later. I'll take 1 to 31 and drop a key. Comes up. Oh, that did not work. So right now I'm selecting faces and polygons. I'm going to click on the ones that basically allow you to select the polygons and they come back so I can select the actual object. I'm going to middle mouse again. Middle mouse, right to click my viewport, and then hit S, and now it stays flat. So you see, there was no key here, so the scaling, as you see, there's no animation here. I'm going to put that all to 1, and now I'm kind of back to where we were before. Now let's get the squashing working properly. Frame 1, we're good. Frame 2, let's reverse this. 1, let's put them all to 1 first, it's a little bit easier. And then I'm going to scale this up. It's not off the ground. I want a little higher, a little bit more spring in there. You can see it's kind of overshooting a little bit. I need to tone it back just a little bit. Or it's going to kind of wobble up there. Alright. Now let's stretch it out. 1.5. And then these would pull in at 0.75. 0.75. G. Comes and becomes full at the top. And if you want, middle mouse 2 to 31, drop a key. Go into your Y translation. Delete that key that you just put in there. So it keeps that nice arc. But now it has the bullet shape as it comes down. But as you can see, it's creating that bullet shape too early. There's no force really making it to manipulate the ball. It's about 25, 24. Turn that ball to a whole size. And you're good to go. And it picks up speed, deforms, and crushes. Nice. Now we have the bouncing ball. Now let's go to the yellow ball. I'm going to drop keys on our key poses, and kind of like this is could be considered a breakdown or another key pose. I think largely it's a key pose. So this ball should be kind of coming down and crushing it. So I want to inverse this. So I'm going to pull it in and stretch it out. go. So now it's at 2.5. And I pulled it in at 0.4. Let's pull it in. It's a little bit because you're dealing with the other scaling. So I'm just going to put 0.4, 0.4. One way we can kind of see if it looks right from here. Select the ball. I'm going to hit F to frame up on it. Overall, that looks pretty good. There's a part of me that wants to scale it maybe to a 3. I have a saying, if it looks right, it is right. It doesn't have to actually be right. And then it pops up. I want to kind of invert this. Let me put this back to 1. Go. Basically 2 and 2. So it kind of flattens out like a pancake. Gonna shoot up and become whole, and I like to give it a little bounce off the ball. There we go. And as it comes down, again, I want to, right now it's holding the shape. I like that. I'll drop a key there to make sure it keeps the shape. And then by 30, it's actually looking already pretty good. I'm going to, well, I got to take 1, copy 1 over to 31, drop a key, middle mouse it over, and now we're running into a problem. So let's put this back to its whole shape. I might get a little bit closer, elongate it out a little bit more. Let's just do 1.2. And I just would pull these in by 0.1, keeping that same volume. You can kind of see it speed up and come down. I want to see about getting rid of that. That might be frame 25. Let's go to the graph editor, select the Y, so you can see it coming down and then coming up. Let's get rid of that. And here, I'm going to break these. You have to hit W if you want to translate them. Overall, pretty good. I'm not a fan of it leaving. I want it to kind of more leave, like maybe after frame 10. So let's pull that down. Go back to my graph editor. So let's just make that a little straighter. Nice. And you can see it's kind of popping off a little late now. So let's play around with the timing. We'll take 16, move it to 20. Kind of see it shoot up a little bit. I'm going to take 10, move that over. That's looking better. Me playing around with the timing definitely made it a little bit more complicated. But it looks a little bit better. But the big part I want you to understand out of this is you do the main ball first, and then you do the secondary ball afterwards. Trying to do them at the same time can overcomplicate things. After that, Might want to make a movie. Get my high. Zoom in. There we go. Play blast options. Again, it's QuickTime H.264. Scale it by half. I have my full window presented. And play blast as it cuts it down to a quarter. And then we have our bouncing ball. It has an extra frame at the beginning and end. That's why it feels like it's sticking here. We shave off that extra frame, or actually it might make it easier to really kind of see more of the bounce. Let's go to 91 frames. Let's do 3 bounces. Right now we only have 1 bounce. We can copy and paste it, or it'd be smart. Select everything in your graph editor, have both balls selected, and hit cycle. And then it would just repeat forever. We can open this to 10 seconds and see it bounce. Alright, something wasn't selected. I think that was the scaling. Yep, you can see the scaling just goes flat. Let's scale up that ball. Alright, looks like everything else is repeating. Now when we do a play blast, overwrite it, it's going to look correct. Alright, let's move on to the next one in the next video.